reference to.
Yeah, that's what it is. Call rides up, rams him with his own horse, knocks him off his, beats the shit out of him. Said, "I hate rude behavior in a man. Won't tolerate it."
One of the great kick lines from any Western.
Yeah. So that's why they named him, and it's one of my all-time favorite shows. And it's like, dish it is.
Dish it is. Can dish it out.
And why I keep saying wash, I don't fucking know. But it's what it is.
Once it sticks in your head.
Yeah.
Okay, movie shootouts. Get this up and running. Sure why they do that. Recents, no, not recents.
Are we up on anything yet?
Oh shit, I should probably open up shit.
Wow, Martin Scorsese's 82.
82.
Oh, looks like we're on.
Is it just me, or does it feel like the whole world has taken a giant sigh of relief?
Well, the Azusa store's business has quadrupled
Ooh.
since November 5th.
That is a very interesting response.
Well, people,
If you're not afraid that people are going to take your stuff from you.
Yeah. I think it's more of people have disposable money again.
Or at least they're anticipating. Noise.
Wow. We'll see how long that lasts.
Right now, I'm good.
All right. How come I got no internet on my phone? This was happening earlier, and I turned it off and turned it back on, and I still got no internet. Dirty, rotten bastard.
You dirty rotten.
Boy, I am the wrong person to ask about that.
No. The only more wrong one would be me. I keep getting these notifications. Your monetized video is sharing ad revenue with a music rights owner. what monetized video have I got?
This live program is brought to you by the Gunslinger Shops.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. America and all the ships at sea. You're listening to Gunslingers, brought to you from behind the Iron Curtain on Radio Free California. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Gunslingers right here on
The Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
That's us.
Yeah, baby. Welcome back.
It's been a long week.
And a cold one as well. Holy
A little
smokes.
bit. I mean,
Summer's over. I didn't see you in shorts this week.
Hey,
you didn't see me in shorts last week.
Or a tank top. With the flip-flops.
Only time you see me in shorts is if I'm in the swimming pool or well, in the summer when I'm walking and it's 108 degrees, I will put on shorts.
That's just my way of saying what passes for winter here in Southern California has apparently descended upon us.
Yeah, because all of us are wearing. I'm wearing
Everything I own.
Yeah.
I've got a literal thermal on. Thermal.
Take it. This is for those of you not watching on radio.
Oh,
Thermal.
we're twinning today. Look at us.
Well, I'm not wearing any of that stuff. So
Hey,
I just kind of. I've got my
denim.
Canadian tuxedo on. I've got
Yeah.
Levi jacket and
Canadian
Levi's.
tuxedo and a flannel. I'm going to use that.
Fair enough. Okay, so this has been a busy week for us at Gunslingers.
Yes,
Holy
sir.
cow. So a few of the things that happened this week. How do you put this? I was just driving down the freeway, just happened to have my car trailer, and his car followed me home. I couldn't help it.
It's like magnetic, or
right?
something,
I pulled over to the side of the road, and
Suddenly?
this 1956 Ford F100 just rolled right up on my trailer.
Well, excuse me.
And I said, no, I can't take any more strays. And he just growled at me and said, I'm going with you. And that's the end of that.
This
This
was
was
like-
lap and all.
I've seen the pictures. This is like the barn find of the century. Yes.
And it is bone stock. It's still in that forest green, color. It's got
that was a weird green.
Yeah, it's a 292 Y block, 3 on the tree. It's
Old school cool.
Oh man, this thing reeks of right out of like the Highway Patrol TV show.
Did you immediately roll up a pack of cigarettes and put it under your T-shirt sleeve?
No, but I did get in and go, 2150 buy.
Shoot a helicopter out of the sky with a 2-inch snub nose at 350 yards.
After he shot me in the arm. Broderick Crawford literally had 1,500 shots in his arm.
In his arm.
In his arm. Every week he got shot in the arm.
It's still good.
And
shook it
Yeah,
off.
and he's back next week. No workman's comp claim.
Well, I think what happens is they kept shooting through the same hole.
Ha went
That's
right through.
marksmanship, baby.
It's like, what do you think of them apples, Chuck? You missed. Anyway, and you know what? Everybody's asking me, you're going to put an LS in it. And it's like, you know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to get it running, and I'm going to leave it alone.
How complex to get it running?
Well, it's over at Bear Frame and Wheel right now getting the brakes done because the car's been sitting for like a decade.
So all the fluids that were not drained have turned to
Mush,
sludge,
gush,
yeah.
Whatever you want to call it.
And brakes are kind of important.
Oddly enough, in that heavy of a car, they are very important.
Something important.
So it's over by Bear Frame. Here's a quick commercial for Bear Frame.
Bear Frame.
I've known the folks at Bear Frame. This is in Glendora on Arrow Highway, just east of Grand Avenue. I have known them so long, I actually played on the Bear Frame and Wheel Little League team.
Wow.
And the dad that owned it, Mr. Rice, we always thought he was Cal Worthington because he was like 7 foot tall, always wore a cowboy hat, and always took the team to a Dodger game every season.
That is very cool.
Yeah, he was
yeah.
a great guy, and he's no longer with us, but his sons have taken it over. And Greg, who runs it with his brother Gary, Greg was the shortstop, and I was the second baseman. and we both timed out of Little League at the same year. We both turned 12 and went up to Pony League. But that's how far back I go with Bear Frame and Wheel.
That is a lifetime. I have another thought about that, and that is, normally they do something special for somebody, and it's one and done, right? But you're in there like what, every third week or something?
Are you kidding me? I own an apartment. So
just knock when it's finished.
Pretty much.
There's a little hideout right in the middle. That's where your little secret stash is.
That's it. So I brought it in. I put it in. Got it, and we're getting brakes worked on. The master cylinder, of course. It was gone. So we're rebuilding that. I was kind of thinking about putting a double lunger in it because it's a 56, so it's got the single lung master cylinder.
Oh yeah.
It's a big car. What if that thing goes bad? Be nice to have a backup just in case.
The Pacific Ocean will stop you
Eventually.
Yes. Is it all downhill from here?
Yeah, well, and then I'm gonna hit a shark or two. That's happening, right? So anyway, it's over there.
Jump it.
Yeah. Once I hit a whale, we're stopping. But other than that, forget about it. So that's going on. And then yesterday, I bought myself a Christmas present early. I got a 7-year-old buckskin quarter horse that is just. Did you see the pictures, RJ? My friend Brooke, she runs our IT stuff, and she puts all the emails out and does a bunch of the Facebook stuff for us and everything. And she's a real horse person, not like I am.
Yes.
Meaning that I'm not. And I said, hey Brooke, you know what? Find me a buckskin. I found one online, and it was in a Missouri auction. I thought, man, this horse is awesome. If I could, somebody's radio's on. What's going on there? If I could get this thing for like $15,000, this thing is so choice, and that should be about right. And it sat at $12,000 until the day before. It sold for $75,000.
Wow.
Needless to say, I never even put a bid in. That thing
Blown
was
out of the water there.
Oh man.
That's all right. You didn't want to make that drive anyway, but you have a pickup truck to do it in now.
That's right. Of course, we won't be stopping between here and there. That's another story.
Once you hit the Rockies, baby.
Momentum.
All downhill from there. Oh, yes. Anyway, so I bought myself a buckskin and took him out for a ride yesterday.
Good-looking pony, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I took him out for a ride today. His name is Dish.
Old Dish.
And for those of you wondering, why in the hell would you name a horse Dish? Now, think back to Lonesome Dove. And D.B. Sweeney, I think is his real name. Yep. His character's name was Dish. And in that movie, he rides the prettiest buckskin next to mine.
Yeah. The second greatest.
The second. Anyway, so he's named after him. And so that's the story. So I had a pretty good week on top of picking up 115 guns on Friday.
So you're booked through...
April's now done. We're now booking for June.
And not only booking for June, but have been, because this is overflow as well.
Yeah,
so
and we're still waiting on 350.
You're doing how many a year right now? How many auctions?
5.
Just saying.
Yeah, we're
6 is around the corner.
We're doing well. The next, if we fill up for the year, I'm going to end up probably picking up 1 or 2 more dates. And we'll make them 2-dayers because I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
You got to get people out, you know. So tonight we're going to talk about some of you guys, because we have a lot of Cowboy Action Shooter listeners. We're going to talk about Panorama.
Great match.
Yeah, which I shot yesterday. I couldn't make it out today for several reasons. We'll get into that later. Mark went to the Oklahoma.
Among other things, the Tulsa Gun Show.
The Tulsa show.
Which in the absence of Pomona. Well, we'll talk about that more later.
Yeah, because the Pomona show. Man, I missed that. Yeah. But anyway, and then the third thing is, and this is for you guys, because remember, this is a live show. What's the number, Jim?
You're going to call in at 866-870-5752. Once again, that's 866-870-5752.
And what we're going to talk about is favorite movie shootouts.
And there's plenty of them, folks.
Wait. Are we going to have a specific time frame? Outer space? Modern?
No, let's
Cowboys?
just open it up. Now,
open it up?
I picked my top 3, and they're all, of course, Westerns, because that's just me.
Then there's plenty.
But you can. I don't care what you want to talk about.
Wide open franchise.
Wide open. Let's leave sci-fi out because phasers don't count. We can't. We can't have them.
I use the Terminator.
And speaking of the Terminator, let's get to Richard at the airport.
Yeah.
Richard, how are you?
Good evening, you recoiling gunslingers.
Recoil.
What can we do for you, Richard?
I want to know what effect did the mini ball have
Bless you.
on the rifles like the Springfield during the Civil War?
Well,
That's a fun one.
yeah, it was a huge effect because basically the mini ball kind of is shaped like the end of a football, as opposed to a malted milk ball. And oddly enough, even a malted milk ball with a spin tends to kind of go where it wants, whereas a pointed tends to go much straighter.
Much more efficient aerodynamically, yeah.
So
plus the hollow base expanded, which was really important because manufacturing at that point in time was, how do we say, not as precise. So you had bores, you had bores that varied somewhat widely.
Yeah.
So by having the expanding base, it would fill the.
Plus, they were iron barrels as opposed to steel now, and they would wear much quicker and wear unevenly.
Yes.
So, and so a lot of that stuff matters. So
more accurate at greater distance.
Yeah, and again, shooting a malted milk ball like because we have a gun in December that's 90 cal, by the way.
90 cal.
90
That's
cal.
about the. Yeah.
Yeah, that's rather large. Anyway, Richard, what's your joke for tonight?
Thanksgiving's coming, and do you know why the male pilgrims' pants kept falling down?
Buckles were on their shoes.
Or their hats.
They wore their buckles on their hats and their shoes.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
I'm sorry,
good.
Richard. That one was a turkey.
Oh, gobble, gobble.
Richard, thanks, and we'll talk to you soon. Hey, don't forget, Leon's here in a couple of weeks,
Yeah,
right?
baby.
I'll be there.
I know you will. Richard, we'll talk to you next week. Thanks again.
Richard. God bless you.
You guys got it.
Yeah, we did. What song is this? I can't hear it. Oh, Youngblood. All right. Hey, you're listening to Gunslingers right here on
The Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
And we're going to be back with Rick from the CRPA right after this.
Yes, sir.
I found out where the radio that you were hearing was coming from. Why don't my headphones work?
Oh.
The lower corner.
Ah, there you go. Hey, his headphones aren't working.
No. I had them on like this.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what you were hearing then.
Sorry. Yes, that's it. Sorry about that.
But yeah, so I
Oh my God, I can hear. Slightly quicker than a
How
tree
long have you been a musician? Oh, 3 or 4.
God, if I had to listen to it, I would have quit long ago. If I had to listen to what I sound like.
Yeah, I've always been of the same. I can't stand hearing. Auctions.com. Again, that's gunslingerauctions.com. I ain't hitting those notes.
Not the one in the right pants today.
No. I get the.
That's
Welcome
our easy part.
back, everybody, to Gunslingers right here on.
The Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
And guess what I found out?
What?
Vegas isn't hearing us tonight. You know why?
Why?
They have some kind of deal with the Chargers football, and we're being preempted in Vegas tonight.
Chargers?
Yeah.
Not the Raiders?
Don't look at me. I don't make the rules.
Seriously?
Interesting.
So Vegas, you're going to have to go to our website.
One of our many.
Yeah, gunslingerauctions.com and listen to us there for this
Or
week.
find us on any of the streams right now. We got them all up. We got YouTube, Rumble, X, and Facebook Live. Just look for the Gunslinger
But we're talking
Radio.
to people that can't hear us on the radio right now.
Oh, yeah.
If they're- hey, you tell your friends, all right? You
There
tell
you
2
go.
friends, and they'll
Get
tell
on
their
the
friends.
horn.
Somebody get on the roof. Let's get some smoke signals. Let's go. All right. Speaking of smoke signals, let's get to Rick.
Hey.
Rick, how you doing?
It's another wonderful day in the neighborhood.
I tell you what.
Would you be mine? Could you be mine?
Yeah, so how you guys doing?
Well, I've had a pretty good week. We took in literally over the week about 150 guns for auction. You heard the story on my new car.
Very cool.
Can't wait. Yeah, I cannot wait to drive that down the street. And then I got a new horse yesterday.
Things have been going swimmingly, but
Well, I think the horse thing was pretty cool. I was listening to that during the break, and that sounds pretty cool.
Come over. Let's go ride.
yeah.
Hey, okay, everybody got to hear that, so I will come and go riding with you. That'll be
There you
fun.
go.
Anytime you want. I've got 3 at the house right now.
Yes, you
and
do.
I've got saddles for about 20.
Hi, I'm Jeff, and I have a problem.
I'm a hoarder. What do you want from
That's
me?
not a problem.
Yeah, notice I put the "dur" on the end of that now. Anyway. So what's new, Rick?
Okay, so nothing on the courts, so no, I can't answer anything about 11% because I know that's like the
Always and forever, yeah.
But we have major battles going on trying to defend some wins. I mean, we've got some political issues that, some people may say it's cheating. I will say it's very suspicious. We've got right now 5 races that we're watching very closely along with a lot of other people. But, we got 2 in the congressional races, and that would be District 13 with Duarte, and would also be down here closer to where the radio station is, and that's District 45, which is Michelle Steele, who was literally winning by thousands, and then the Dems started complaining. They started shutting people out from the count, and all of a sudden, Derek Tran is leading by 0.02 percentage points with 93.7% of the votes counted. And why it looks weird is, Michelle Steele's been pretty good as a congressional leader, and when you look at the votes cast in the district where they're counting these from, like, Derek Tran's the only Democrat they're voting for. Everybody else is voting Republican, which
Stinks.
kind of suspect.
This sounds like 2020 all over again, is what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and this is especially true because California has been the slowest friggin' state to count votes, and a lot of it is suspect because we have a governor who, tells all of us you shouldn't have gas stoves, you should make sure you have, solar power, don't be having swimming pools and wasting water and jacuzzis. Those are all no-nos. And then just dropped $9 million on a brand new mansion that has no solar powers, has swimming pool, has a couple jacuzzis, has gas stoves. That's all the things he tells you not to have, which is why people hear me all the time say that this is an individual who says, this is how the rest of you should live, but I'm not going to live that way.
Rules for thee.
Yeah. So, and I don't think he liked the red wave that happened in the elections, and so there appears to be some manipulation because he couldn't do anything about the proposition, so it was so overwhelmingly a backhand straight to his face to say, no, we're tired of this. So now he's trying to target. Like, we had a race here in District 47 where David Min, DUI Dave, won, but barely won. And there's several barely wins, but they weren't winning until, different people showed up from the state and started, quote, helping out, end quote. So we have 3 different races. We have Wallace, who is trying to stay in his position in District 47 in an Empire. That was a race that was decided by hard votes, and they've come razor close a couple times. Actually had his competitor ahead right now with about 90% of the vote in. He's ahead, but who knows where that's going to go. Same thing with Castillo in the Cervantes dynasty. She's trying to overthrow it. She's been outspent with like a little over $1 million versus about $85,000.
Wow.
And she's still ahead by about 600 votes. So these are all really good people. I know Leticia Castillo personally. She's a hard-charging fighter for Second Amendment, for everything we want. She wants to see more ranges, a lot more programs, things like that. But, I've had several conversations with her, and, they keep trying to bring more and more ballots in. They keep trying to do all sorts of stuff. So, a lot of suspect, and there may be some more lawsuits coming down because of this.
Hey,
Well,
man,
I'm
And
curious.
I heard something about 3 favorite shootouts, so I figured you'd probably put me on the spot. So,
Of course.
Unforgiven, 310 to Yuma, and I know this one isn't the typical Hollywood thing, but for me, getting to talk to a couple of the people that survived that mess, 13 hours, had some of the most accurate shootouts, and really happened. And so those would be my 3.
nice.
Fair
Great
enough.
Strong.
choices.
Fair enough.
Yes,
Strong.
definitely.
Well, all right. Anything else going on? Any good news out there? Or are we just kind of in a holding pattern?
Well, if we could get a couple of these people across the line, they're going to be carrying some really positive legislation. So I've got a best interest on behalf of all of you to try to get these people across the line so we can have some really good positive news that we have some really good legislation that we're running. So, yeah, I'll have some. Just we can't say anything just yet.
I gotcha. You know, you kind of wonder. I mean, the Republicans were out in force. I heard over 150,000 people across the United States monitoring so that no chicanery goes on. Why didn't they send them out to us?
You know, and they're busy everywhere. I mean, if you look across the country, Pennsylvania, I mean, like they're trying to flip states that we've already won by going back. And this is just, it's funny that the party of inclusiveness, which is what they call themselves, the party that believes in fairness, is the party that's now saying we stole the election, we ripped it off.
Isn't that interesting?
Well, as soon as we sigh a breath of relief, they're like, "Wait a second, they're not looking anymore. They're comfortable now. Let's go in there and see what we can do," type of deal. And it's so telling. It's so obvious at this point that these are the type of deals that they like to do: work in the darkness, work in the shadows, and pretend like no one's looking. And this is very sad.
And to that point, I mean, there were a lot of people that worked really hard, and I will say both campaigns were out there in force, and yet she's missing, like, literally lots of votes, like several million votes. And so it's kind of interesting to go, where did 20 million people go?
That's the big question, of course, everybody's asking. Because if everybody turned out...
Where did they go?
Well, apparently our esteemed governor thinks that he's untouchable. I sure hope that Trump makes him a pet and touches him in every given chance.
I am so hoping for Elon and Vivek to start in California looking at the gross use of funding.
Cut the waste.
I would be more than happy to point them in about a half a dozen different directions.
Absolutely.
Couldn't agree more.
Cannot wait.
That's going. Next year is going to be awful fun.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we've got a lot of things to be positive about, and now it's trying to get some things really going and blossoming, and trying to make sure everybody realizes that Trump gets through the January dates and gets inaugurated, then the work for all of us starts right then, because we got to start working on the campaign for 26 to make sure we have more people going into Congress that are going to continue to back this, and getting more people out there registered to vote, because we're not done and we got to take back California.
Yeah,
that's the point you keep making, man. We cannot run around like we just won the Super Bowl because they're not done.
Stop spiking the ball. Let's pick up the helmets, put them back on, and get back in the game.
This is not even halftime yet, guys.
Yep.
Okay, Rick, anybody wants to join you know the spiel.
CRPA.
How do they get a hold of you?
CRPA.org. And if they have any questions, contact at CRPA.org. And as always, we just want everyone out there to be safe, shoot straight, and fight back for their rights.
God bless you.
Very good.
Rick.
Thanks, Rick.
All right, take care.
See you next week.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
so much.
Really quick, I got this email. If you guys remember, a couple, 3 weeks ago, we got a call from James White. He was running for school board out in Corona.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Jeff, I want to thank you guys again for giving me a couple of minutes to promote my candidacy for school board trustee. Votes are still trickling in, but I trailed the incumbent by a few thousand votes. Our numbers both seem to rise at the same rate. Anyway, he doesn't think he's going to win, but he said he did get nearly 5,000 votes, and he's going to be back again next year. He said, thanks for your time. And in the meantime, the two women that did win that he mentioned on our show are going to be able to hold the thing down.
Hey,
so
excellent.
just want to say, and he said, thanks for your time and your help. James, you're welcome. And like I told you, keep the fight up, and let's get it next time around.
Absolutely.
All right, you're listening to the Gunslingers right here on
The Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
It's time for your calls. Quick, what's the number?
866-870-5752. Once again, that's 866-870-5752.
All right, Roy, take us on out of here.
Go on, baby.
Crying is time to understand. that was a real nice email he sent.
That is
Nice.
That is very, very cool, and I like the fact that he ain't giving up. Everything you just said, man.
Yeah, I had to cut
And-
it short because we were running out of time. But
And how nice for a guy to follow up.
yeah, he said, in the meantime, the 2 women I mentioned during my radio minutes seem to have won their races, so the board should be in good hands. My incumbent opponent will be outnumbered for any stupid motions, and I'll take her seat next time. Thanks for your help and your
Love
time.
that.
Yeah,
Love that.
so that was a nice email.
Sure as heck is. I knew you'd know what to do.
Yeah,
Somebody grab
it's funny that way.
Yeah. Oh, behind. A little bit behind. There you go.
Right in the hole.
Slater.
This is Richard A. Nixon, attorney, talk show host at Concord, inviting you to tune into my program, Richard Nixon Live.
Richard Nixon live.
Richard Nixon live. Oh, freaking
I am not a crook. You won't have Dick Nixon to kick around anymore.
Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and iTunes, and tune in Sundays.
Calls be coming in.
Yep, I see a couple. Holy cow. Make that whole switchboard's lit up.
Good call on the theme. Come on.
Flipped to Republican control. It looks like the House of Representatives will be held by Republicans. It will be a very, very slim margin. This is the morning answer.
The way Trump keeps poaching people, it's going to be even slimmer.
And Colorado, they're still raising their
I love that.
They're predicting that Republicans will continue.
It's Kirk's birthday. Happy birthday, Kirk.
Kurt.
Shinnenwark. 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 Shinnenwark.
Every weekday starting at 6. Stream us 24/7 on Rumble at AM 870. The Answer. Breaking news. Talk you can trust. And the latest news and talk from the Answer Nation and beyond.
It's working too.
Fired up and ready to go. Be informed on your drive home, on your drive around town, on your drive into work. AM 870. The Answer. News and talk you can trust.
The hell?
We'll have the latest analysis, the news of the day, plus an incredible lineup of guests for the next American Furnace with me, Dr. G. You don't want to miss a second. Weekdays at 1 on AM 870.
The answer.
AM 870. The Answer.
Never get tired of hearing this.
Best intro ever.
Yep.
Deep down in Louisiana, close to New Orleans, way back among the woods, among the evergreens, there stood a log cabin made of earth and wood, where lived a country boy named Johnny B. Good, who never ever learned to read or write so well, but he could play guitar just like a ringing a bell. Go, go!
Welcome back, everybody, to Gunslingers right here on
The Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
That's right, folks. We're on from San Diego to San Francisco, from L.A. to Phoenix to Vegas, but not
And
Vegas
as soon as the
tonight.
Chargers are done tonight,
if they get done before 9 o'clock, maybe we will be back on. And you know what they're doing tonight here at KRLA at 11 o'clock? They're going to replay either tonight's show or last week's show. I'm not sure, but yeah, we're going to get
Double
replayed
dipping.
tonight at 11.
you
so.
could hear your voice heard if you called in.
Let's see, 11 p.m. That'll be about halfway home for me.
Almost.
Okay, Okay, real quick, let's get a few things out of the way. Number one, of course, don't forget, folks, December 8th. Okay, the one, the only, Leon the Motorman in studio. We're going to be doing another Motor Slingers show. So we're going to have Leon and George in. We're going to cover motorcycles, cars, boats, planes, guns, guitars, you name it, amplifiers. I don't care. We cover it.
We'll bring horses back in. Come on.
It's going to be a man show weekend.
Man, you guys miss it.
That's that's December 8th. Which remember when we had him in? It seemed like that's 1,000 years away. It's a couple of weeks away now.
Kind of like your auctions. Right?
Yeah, which of course is the following week, December 15th. That's our next auction. Go to gunslingerauctions.com, and as soon as you click on there, it'll say bid now. Click on that button. That takes you to the catalog. Everything's there with pictures and descriptions.
Oh, and such good descriptions. Shout out to all the guys that are working. I know you put a hand in there, but they do such a great job.
Yeah, Tim and JR working their butts off, trying to get all that stuff done. They love that we keep getting stuff in because they call it job security.
Oh, yeah.
All right, hey, let's get to the phone. He's been waiting for quite a while. Mark in Woodland Hills. Mark, what can we do for you, sir?
Good evening, Mark.
Good evening, Patriots. Well, the answer to the best shootout, I think, I'll add that to my questions here, but Heat with De Niro and Pacino.
The one in the old drive-in theater?
The one where they had the bank downtown.
The bank.
Okay. The one that was kind of replicated in real life. Yeah.
Yes.
Hollywood pretty much agrees with you on that one.
Yeah.
That was on the list. Yep.
Yeah, just too bad Gascon didn't, right?
Yeah.
You guys cover cars and music a lot, so I'd like to ask you what your favorite car is. Not the one you drive now, but the one in your historical perspective was your favorite car ever. What's your worst one ever? What's your favorite live performance, and what was the most disappointing one? I have mine. Do you want me to give you mine?
Go ahead.
The worst car I ever drove was, I used to travel to Jamaica a lot, and it was a Lada from Russia.
Oh, my God.
They used to trade, the Jamaicans used to trade bauxite, that you make aluminium, and they would trade it for Ladas. Worst, oh, my God, it was so bad, I can't even
Did you have the one?
And maybe the French Citroen sedan I drove once in Europe. It was horrible, too.
Citroens were horrible.
Yeah, my favorite car was a 66 Chevelle with a 396, and I built it all the way to a sub-10-second quarter mile. Wow. My favorite performance, number one, period, head and shoulders above everybody else, was The Doors, with a close second for Mountain. Leslie West and all that.
Leslie West.
My biggest disappointment is we went out to San Bernardino at the old Swing Auditorium. I don't even think it exists, but I saw Jimi Hendrix with the Band of Gypsies, his worst endeavor.
Oh, yeah.
It was really, really disappointing. I thought he was drunk, but I didn't know he was on heroin. But the Doors were unbelievable. I can still see it in my mind's eye. It was that good.
Wow. Very good. All right.
Yeah, some good picks.
Yeah, okay.
How about you guys?
Well,
any opinion on the Doors, Jeff?
I only did it for like a decade. I actually
Jeff fronted a Doors cover band
for a long time.
And did it well, I got to say.
Well, thanks. And then, of course, I was in a band called The Trip, the Ultimate 60s Experience, where we covered everybody. So I had to be John Lennon, Eric Burden, Fogerty, Morrison, and we did everything from the Animals to the Zombies in the 60s. We didn't do Motown and we didn't do girl groups because we didn't qualify for either.
Either one.
Well, now you do.
Yeah, well, there you go. But, I never got to see the Doors. I'm 64, so I would have been too young by the time they were gone. I would have only been 10 years old, but...
would have been cool at that age, eh?
Yeah, but never got to see it. My sister got to see the Beatles both times at Hollywood Bowl. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I have to live vicariously through her. That would have been fun to see. As far as favorite car, man, that's a tough one. Any given day could be a different one. That's a
split window.
63 Corvette or 56 Bug, or there's a lot of split windows. I don't know, man.
I was thinking of the Vet.
Yeah, you know what? I have one, and I like that car, but
the minute there's a but.
But how do you go against John Milner's 32 Ford 5-window coupe?
Tough to argue with that.
Now, I don't own the actual one, but mine is literally exact, right down to the small block Chevy with the mana-free intake with 4 Rochester single barrels. It's pretty darn close. And that was not my first. I got the 55 and painted it black and did a kind of a Bob Falfa thing with it. And so it's really hard. You know what? Of all the cars that I have, the one car that gets the most notice, I'm talking when I'm driving down the freeway, I get honks and waves and video.
Your Helms truck.
My Helms truck. Yeah, I have a 1960. It's a Chevy Apache panel van, and it was bought at the 1969 Helms going out of business sale. And when I got it from the customer, I had it redone just like the Helms truck, and I had all the Helms stuff put back on the side, and that car gets more notice than any other car, to the point I had painted on the back door. Yep, it's really a Helms truck.
Yeah, it's iconic.
Well, it strikes you on a couple of levels because just everybody that ever smelled a Helms truck coming down the street and see those big drawers get pulled out.
Oh, that
happiness was coming.
Heaven. 5 cents for a baked, not fried, baked donut that was literally the size of a dinner plate and hand sugar glazed. Those things were absolutely, and 5 cents. Oh my God, are we showing our age or what?
A nickel.
5 cents. So, Mark, it would be awful tough for me to pick that. Any one of my cars any given day could be my favorite. All right?
All right, gentlemen. God bless.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you. Thanks for the call.
Okay, so I'll give my 3. Now, you know what? I actually went a little out and didn't quite do all Westerns, but number 3, the opening scene from Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, can you even call that a shootout? I mean, that's just like a turkey shoot.
It does count. Can I tell you a story? When I saw the movie, I was so taken with, I was so impressed. I went to my dad, who was a World War II veteran, and I said, Dad, I would like to take you to see this movie. Would you like to see this movie with me? And he said, no, thanks. I already saw it.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Which is how good that scene is.
When it came out, keep in mind, guys, I haven't been to a movie, I think, since like Forrest Gump.
Tell me about it.
So, I'm a busy guy. I don't have a lot of time. So I got I think it was on VHS. That's how long ago this was. And somebody brought it in for me, and I put it in, and I'm watching this on this itty-bitty old-fashioned TV with a VHS hooked to it. Might have been DVD, but I think it was a VHS. But anyway, after that opening scene, I wanted to sell my gun shop and open a florist.
Really?
That was just so, the first time especially, it was just like, wow, holy mackerel, this is unbelievable. Yeah. And so that would be my number 3. Number 2, it's gory and it's over the top, and it's probably a lot of people's number 1, but The Wild Bunch.
Yep.
That end scene?
Yeah,
where he's got the 1919 hosing folks down.
As my old friend Coop put it to me, after I saw that movie, I wanted to go home and take a shower.
It made me feel dirty.
Gritty, dirty, and bloody. And it's an interesting ending scene. And kind of sad because all the good guys get it.
And they do. But that movie really did move the bar for Hollywood. That's a really iconic
Sam Peckinpah really changed with all the splurting and.
Have you ever seen the Monty Python takeoff on that?
Of course, yeah. I absolutely love it. Yeah. The guy with the piano. the cover falls. Yeah, his hands come up and blood's just splurting everywhere.
Classic.
Yeah, it's a great show. Anyway, my number 1 is a movie that not a lot of people have seen. It's called The Culpeper Cattle Company. And except for the stupid Hollywood drop rigs, which kind of ruin it a little bit, that is the most on-spot Western because he says Gary Grimes is the boy, and he gets onto this cattle drive as a little Mary. That's the cook's assistant, and he ends up getting involved with the whole thing. Well, as he's going, they pick up some other cowboys because they lost a couple in a shootout. Not the one I'm talking about, but early in the movie. And so he comes up to one of the cowboys and he says, "What's your horse's name? He's beautiful." He says, never name something you may have to eat.
Ooh.
It's like, wow, that's Cowboy Jack,
tough, baby.
You know,
Life was tough.
And so at the end of the movie, they come across some homesteaders that, you know, some religious homesteaders that want to stay on this land, and the guy tries to kick them off. And the four guys, Jeff Lewis is one of them, Bo. Oh man, he was in American Graffiti too. Bo, I can't think of his last name now. Anyway, it's great shootout at the end. It's really good, and so if you ever get a chance, the Culpeper Cattle Company.
Culpeper Cattle Company.
So those would be my top three. We'll get to you guys.
That's good.
Yeah,
we only got a minute left in the segment, but. Favorite car again? I can pick least favorite. 1964 Cadillac DeVille convertible. I had one for ever. I hated that car with a passion. Every time I took it out, something died on it, and you can't just get that part because you get that part, and then all the other parts that are connected
It's a domino
to it went
effect,
out. And,
right?
oh my God, that never ran for more than 5 minutes at a time.
No, sir.
Hated that car with a passion. Sold it to a Japanese movie studio. Adios, amigo.
They put it on a boat. And you've never been
that
seen.
day from Pomona right to Long Beach, off to Japan.
Hated it then, hated it now.
What's the number, Jimmy?
866-870-5752.
All right, we'll be back right after this.
Yes, sir.
Said someday you'll
Yeah, that note does not exist in here anymore.
Not at this hour.
Boy.
That goddamn
that
car.
Cadillac.
Third day I own it. I'm in West Covina pulling into the townhouse apartments. It's about dusk. Pull into the left turn lane. I wait this ridiculous. I got the top down, by the way. Ridiculous long time.
That worked.
Yeah.
Or did it not go up?
Well, no, it did, but I just had it down because, you know, it's a 64 Cadillac and it was beautiful. I wait for these cars to go by forever. Finally, they go by. I start to make a left turn. Didn't see the guy on the 125 Yamaha going 60 in a 25.
Oh.
He hit me in the door so hard, he flew 25 feet over me. I should have high-fived him on his way.
See you later, bud.
He might have had other things on his mind.
The bike had no lights. He was auctions.com. That's gunslingerauctions.com. That's gunslingerauctions.com.
We're back.
somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me. My lover stands on golden sands and watches the ships that go sailing.
Love that song.
Oh, baby.
Welcome back, everybody, to Gunslingers right here on
the Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
And it's time to take phone calls. What's the number, Jimmy?
You're going to call in at 866-870-5752. Once again, that's 866-870-5752. And if you're online right now or close to a computer and you want to watch us, not just hear us, and you want to get your words out onto the screen for us to read, you're going to look for us on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and X. Just look for the Gunslinger Radio or Gunslinger Auctions. Go ahead and check us out there or go to our website.
And what do they do when they get there?
Make sure that when you're getting on there, you're liking, you're subscribing, and when you get the chance, share this. Spread the word, spread us all over the place, because we're not just here for California.
Don't make me go out there and gut shoot you now.
He will. Trust me. So make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing this with all your friends and family.
I mean, it takes you 2 seconds. You click a damn button. Get over it.
And it's free, folks. We're not charging you a dime.
And Uncle Sam already knows everything there is to know about you, so don't worry about clicking it and liking it and all that.
Let your friends know.
All right. Let's get to our friend Linda in Burbank. Linda, how are you?
Okay, I want to tell everybody that if anyone wants to get a gun, they'd better get one before December, because I hear this digital dollar is going to go into effect sometime in December, and this digital dollar will track everything we buy. That means by the government.
Well, there you go.
Or pay cash.
And the Federal Reserve is behind this, and Biden signed this into law. And Trump is going to have a very hard time getting rid of it, because the head of the Federal Reserve is not going to let Trump get rid of it. So he's going to have a very big fight on his hands.
Well, we'll see. But all right, thanks for the call, Linda.
Thanks, Linda.
Yeah, Linda just keeps
banging the drum.
Yeah, I tell you what, Hal kind of cut her loose, and she's just been floating out there.
You know what? She's got her ideals. She's on that train.
Anyway, so again, give us a call. You want to talk about first gun? You want to talk about what should you buy? What should you get your wife? You want to buy something for Christmas?
Yep.
What should you wear when you go into a gun shop? What kind of questions should you ask?
Questions on anything you've seen in the catalog for the next auction. Come on,
if
baby.
You got questions about paperwork, give us a call.
Yes,
Black
sir.
powder, smokeless powder, pistols, rifles, shotguns.
Anybody know where to get some Vectan BA10? Because I don't.
Hook a brother up.
Man, I tell you what, that stuff, I've been using it for a long, long time because I had so much of it, and I am out, and I can't find it anywhere. I don't know if they've stopped making it completely or if they've just not importing it into the U.S., but damn.
Come on.
Yeah, okay.
Game is definitely changing.
Let's get to Eric in Santa Ana. Eric, how you doing?
Evening, Eric.
Hey, guys. I posted a text on your Facebook site, but I want to ask a couple questions about your upcoming December 15th auction.
All right.
Do it.
Specifically, lot number 330. It's a first-generation Colt Woodsman match target.
Nothing wrong with your
and
taste.
I am on the Colt forum blog type thing, and I won a first generation at one of your last auctions, and I did a little bit of history searching for it, and the first couple of years they had the bullseye on the barrel, and then they went to the match target stamping on the barrel. But specifically, your lot 330 has, excuse me,
bless you,
George Eliason stamped on the barrel. Now, he was the maker of the sights for the specific Colt Woodsmans. Do you know if that was a specifically tailored small batch run for that particular gun, or what was it, his personal gun, or what?
Is this the one that's engraved?
It's not engraved.
Okay.
It's
Did you see that one?
Stippling on. It's not the elephant ears stock, but it's got a elephant ears type of aftermarket stock, and it's got stippling on the front and stippling on the back, but no engraving. It just has George Geo Eliason stamped on the barrel.
Off the top of my head, I don't know. The only one of those I remember is we do have one I believe is factory engraved, and that one caught my eye immediately.
Yeah.
I am a fan. Of course, the Smith & Wesson Model 41 has always been my favorite gun, but the Colt Match Target would be right behind it, and I'm surprised I didn't see that one. We're getting in, and I'm out of the shop all the time because I'm picking up stuff all over the place. So I don't know that I've seen that one. So do me a favor, Eric, call me at the shop next week during the week, and I'll get it out and we'll take a look and we'll figure it out.
Okay.
All right.
I will do that.
Okay, very good.
Thanks, gentlemen, for all you do, and join the CRPA, donate, because California is dragging its heels as far as the blue states are going, and we need to defeat on every front.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
You're the man.
All right, Eric, thanks, and we'll talk to you this week.
Signs of hope for the future.
All right, good night.
Good night, Eric.
Okay. Hey,
wow.
I'm intrigued. I want to see this gun now.
Right?
Yeah, like I said, I've had my eye on the one that's factory engraved. We've got a friend of mine came in with a factory engraved high power. It's one of the Renaissance.
Wow.
Yeah, and that thing is just gorgeous. And then there's the Colt Match Target factory engraved. There's a Walther PPK.
Those are always interesting.
Yeah, I believe that one's in its original box, and there's a fourth one. I can't remember what the fourth one. Man,
engraving's cool, isn't it?
Oh man,
it just is.
It really adds to it.
I won at Coming At Ya a couple of years back. I won a Ruger that's fully engraved. And it's a very usable gun, but I can't have one. You got to have another one. And,
Right.
dude, the engraving is a lot more than the gun.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know. The guy, the engraver that always shows up at End of Trail,
Jim Downing.
Jim Downing. Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah,
Colonel Scratch. Captain
did,
Scratch.
Yeah, he did some engraving. He did the backstrap on mine, and I keep wanting to get him to do more, but every time I see him, it's at the match, and he's got like 500 already
people around.
Yeah, I got to catch him at a good time.
He was at Bordertown.
Was he?
Yeah, he's out of Missouri.
Out of misery, yeah. Makes sense. Maybe that's why he never has time to do any of it.
He's good. That's a good shout out. He's a good guy too.
I
and
agree,
has a
yeah.
great mustache.
Yeah, he sure. Yeah, he's got that big old Dennis
old
Gage.
thing,
yeah, big old stash.
That's all I can do to keep this little skinny thing going, man. How do you do that? What time do you get up in the morning?
Exactly. What's the process?
I don't know, and I don't want to. All right, let's get to Robert in Burbank, if I can make this thing work. There we go. Robert, what can we do for you, sir?
How are you, sir?
Good. What can we do for you?
Gentlemen, you know, Jeff, Jimmy, and Mark. You know, you guys are awesome. You know, it's a good day in America.
Thanks, man. It sure is. Huh?
You know, I decided that I apply. I went and got and asked for a appointment for CCW, which I got it back. It's like, okay, it'll take about a year.
Yeah,
which is fine.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But you know that question number 18 on the application stumped me. And I don't know exactly, have you ever been involved in including a firearm?
Wow.
What exactly are they asking?
Any legal wrangle?
You know.
Well, I mean, okay, I'm back, and I sat there, and I'm walking through it. I'm like, well, back in 88, 89 or 90, I had someone break into my guest house, and I used a firearm. And I ended up shooting 4 rounds, and I thought I fired 2, and I'm like, okay. And then in December of 90, in February of 90, I went out and bought a Beretta. I'm like, I'm not going to run out of ammo ever again. And so, is that what they're asking?
You know,
that sounds like
kind of. So, you know, it's hard to say because every county has a different.
Right.
Riverside County used to have. Go ahead.
So I'm sorry. I'm in the valley. I'm with LAPD.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Then, everybody has a different kind of questionnaire.
Yeah. You know, and I'm sat there I'm thinking about this question, and I'm like, well, I got to ask some questions about this. And then I had back 25 years ago, I had an accidental discharge in my house, and the police came and stuff like that. I was like, what are they asking? I don't know. That's kind of throwing me for a loop.
Yeah.
Have you undergone the training yet? Because that would be a question for the instructors in your area.
No, Mark. I spoke to your guy. I'm the one with the African.
Yes, I know.
The drilling. And I'm just this question came up, and I wrote no, and then I'm thinking because they haven't done my application yet, but I'm thinking about this. I'm like, what? I don't know.
Well, I mean, you got to be honest with them.
And I figured my thing was I need to be okay. This is what happened. In the last 30 years.
Well, what I would tell you is be honest and tell them exactly what happened, and then you're just going to have to hope that.
Were there any legal ramifications for this?
Yeah, either.
No.
Okay, then you're golden.
There was no legal ramifications.
Yeah, I don't think you have anything. I don't think you have anything to worry about.
I think back. I'm like, well, I'm just like.
But see, regardless, they're going to background check you. They're going to find out. So might as well just let them know
up front.
Well, also, but I mean, background check is, I'm a notary public of California. I've had all these background checks.
Well, then you should be okay. I don't think that's going to be an issue.
Yeah. But I don't think I should lie.
No, absolutely not. Do not lie.
The lie's the problem, not the issue, not the other circumstance.
Yeah, just be honest and upfront and explain, and I think you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Robert, we're coming up on a hard break. We got to go. Thanks for the call. We'll talk to you again.
By the way, you're awesome. And, Jeff, I'm going to be calling you. I know I've done, Mark knows it, and I know you're busy, so I'll probably call you in January to talk about your June auction because you're all booked up.
Oh, yeah.
I would call sooner than that. We may be booked up for June pretty quick.
Better sooner than later.
You guys are super booked up, and I'm like, I got to call him, but you're always busy. And
Call it anyway, brother.
By the way,
call anyway.
I will call, and let's meet up, and we'll just bring those, and we'll figure everything else. And Mark, I haven't seen you in a while. You're awesome. Jimmy, you're cool.
Thank you, brother.
Love your voice. Awesome.
All right.
Gunslinger auction.
We got to go, Robert. Take care.
Thanks, Robert.
All right, we're got hard break. We got to go. You're listening to Gunslingers right here on
the Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
We'll be back on the other side of the hour.
Yeah, we'll be.
With our
power
packed hour.
Have your say here.
It's your patriotic right and duty.
We are AM 870. The Answer.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions.
For 20 seconds.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug.
Is something weird going on with your internet? Still?
I have none.
I think that would qualify then. Because, something's weird here.
Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
KRLA, Glendale, Los Angeles. AM 870, The Answer. Bringing you the best talk, opinions, and facts for the best lineup. Cue it. The Morning Answer with Jennifer.
Greatest shootout, any episode of the A-Team. The Ruger Mini 14, hundreds of rounds, dirt flying, hoods flying off cars and trucks slipping, chaos and excitement, and nobody ever got shot. Yeah, Kirk, I wondered about that too. It was a nice gunfight. It was a nice little gunfight.
Yeah.
And these guys were supposed to be the baddest ass special forces.
Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
I think they're stormtroopers or something.
Instead, it will be an outside commission to offer the White House advice and guidance. The president-elect and his staff are hoping to drive large-scale structural reform.
Something is going on.
Firefighters in New York say a voluntary evacuation plan for 100 wildfire as authorities say much of the Northeast still copes with brush fires and very dry conditions. This is SRN News.
Bothered by your company not sharing your values? Forced to compromise? Salem Media invites you to join us at AM 870 The Answer for a career as a media strategist, helping businesses with their broadcast and digital advertising. You'll work in a values-friendly atmosphere, controlling your income with medical and retirement benefits. If you're a confident salesperson ready to help businesses achieve success, email your resume to chris@salemla.com. That's chris@salemla.com. Salem Media is an equal opportunity employer.
Folks, we're here today interviewing Mr. Uncertainty. How are you today, good sir?
Well, I'm not sure.
What's it like to be so indecisive?
It has its ups and downs, just like the market. I used to be a cliche, but after decades of hard work, now everyone realizes my effect on the market.
So can you tell us how the market is survived?
Dude!
Yay!
Jeffrey! You the man, dude.
I'm uncertain. Excuse me, Mr. Uncertainty. I've got good news for you. I'm Eric Howard, CEO of TFS Financial Insurance Services, and we provide certainty.
I guess there was a glitch in the call on that guy with this last question. He's like, question number 18 says, and I guess it glitched in the middle.
It did, yeah, because I didn't hear what he said.
Financial Hour with host Eric Halloween, Sundays at 11 a.m. on AM 870 The Answer. Total Financial Hour, Sundays at 11 a.m.
Ford Pinto I had for 10 years. Fred put, worst car could be my 1971 Ford Pinto I had for 10 years.
I had a Pinto. It was not a good car, but it wasn't any worse than anything else then. 70s American cars were not a good time.
A lot of plastic going on. Jeffrey got all excited.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's cool.
All he wanted was lasagna from Colombo.
Hey.
You know, some of us haven't had dinner. Now I want some lasagna from Colombo's.
Yeah.
I could do some lasagna. Dang.
I did Taco Bell for lunch.
Ooh.
I haven't had anything to eat since. I cannot tell you how long it's been since I've had Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm. They used to be cheap at $20 an hour. How 2 tacos, $8 or?
Jeffrey got a number 3, which I don't know what that is, and I got 2 tacos and just a regular burrito, and it was $18.
I could feed like 8 guys on $20 going to Taco Bell. At least 8.
Yeah,
used to.
We had a huge breakfast for 4 people at a restaurant just a couple of days. Again, not in California, not $20 an hour, and it was like $52. And it was a big breakfast for 4.
870, The Answer. Read the latest headlines on our website, am870theanswer.com.
Well, you know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now. Don't forget to say you will. Gang on, say yeah.
If that ain't a wake-up call, I don't know what is.
Come on.
Welcome back, everybody, to Gunslingers right here on
the Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
That's right. And you know what? We're taking phone calls. What's the number, Jim?
You're going to want to call in at 866-870-5752. Once again, that's 866-870-5752.
Give us a call. Okay, so again, don't forget, December 8th, we're going to do another Motor Slinger show with Leon the Motorman, his friend George, and the rest of us.
And if that's not enough, when's the next auction?
December 15th, the weekend after.
Man,
wow.
Just rolling like a snowball down a hill. Like a pickup truck with lousy brakes.
Or no brakes whatsoever.
Yeah. Drive into the sharks.
December is your destination for Gunslinger
I'm going to grab a shark by the fin. We're just going to cruise right on out to Hawaii.
Makers of Sharknado number 17 now. You might be wanting to think about this for a plot device.
Sharknado, the F-100.
Another way you'll find another coral-encrusted Garand or something.
There you go.
There's always that.
Digging for Garands.
Always that. Okay, so Mark and I, I shot half of one, but Mark, you shot the rest of it.
Missed the rest of you because you were, again, I know you were ailing a little bit, and I know it was a little bit cold. But, man, you were shooting the lights out, brother.
I was shooting terrible. They were the stages were pretty action-packed. A lot of split gun stuff.
Yeah.
With that meaning you shoot one gun here, then, like pistol from the right, then move to the center and shoot your rifle, and shotgun, then move to the left and shoot your other pistol. A lot of that kind of stuff going on. There were several where you shoot 2 out of your shotgun, take it with you kind of stuff. It was,
and up on the hill, some of those targets were out there a little bit more than sometimes.
Well, I tell you what, with End of Trail right around the corner. Now, for those of you that don't know, End of Trail is the Cowboy Action World Championship. And you're going, yeah? Yeah, I'm signed up. They put the targets out a little bit farther.
Yeah, they do. It's a challenge.
I think it would behoove a lot of us to maybe do the same here.
Train hard to win easy.
Yes, because, when you put those targets out a little farther, it's not going to be so earth-shattering when you see them at End of Trail.
I agree 100%. You don't walk out there and immediately freak out.
Yeah.
Because now you're thinking about the wrong stuff.
Yeah, and once that buzzer goes off, if you're thinking at all, you're in trouble because your body doesn't react to it. You need to go off a semi-conscious.
Yeah, you don't have time. It's like baseball.
Yeah, which
you're
is why
thinking about it, you're dead.
Yeah, which is why I've told people forever, never talk when you're shooting because people they get upset, and if they miss, they say something.
Sounds like Popeye.
Yeah, that's the one. And olives. Anyway, and it takes you out of your subconscious and puts you back into your conscious, and now you've lost.
Mm-hmm. That's real good.
So, yeah, just stay focused. You miss, just let it go. Kind of like a baseball pitcher. No matter what you do, you meant to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you hit the guy on deck circle. You meant to do that. You know, it's just that's how it is. You stay on that mountain.
That might have been a purpose play.
Well,
sending a message.
Maybe that's not the best example, but
just a bit outside.
You get the point, though. Yeah, I'll just stay focused. No matter what happens, don't get out of that subconscious mode. So.
Nope, couldn't agree more.
Anyway, so how'd you do?
Thank you very much. I won class, and I came in second overall.
Bravo!
Okay, very good.
And I might have finished third overall. There was kind of if Moose is listening, Moose, I think you might have gotten jobbed on a call, and that might have changed the outcome. Mm-hmm. But it was a great deal of fun. It was a great challenge. The weather was absolutely beautiful. It's a little cold here in Southern California, but now we're complaining about a 68-degree day by the time it's afternoon, right?
Well, there was shade.
There was, which we did not need today.
So,
I wanted to give a shout-out to a couple of shooters especially, okay?
Go ahead.
First of all, you got to respect the winner, right, Coyote?
Mm-hmm.
And but I wanted to talk. We talk sometimes about how the sport itself is graying, and in some cases aging out. We had a couple of new shooters, and I wanted to shout out their name. We had California Grizzly, who in his first big match, and I think his second match ever, finished third in Wild Bunch.
Wow!
And finished third in his category, Cowboys, which is often a hotly contested. And this was all borrowed everything. I mean, all borrowed everything. And you know what it's like to be a new shooter with your fumbling stuff, and this goes where. And he did a great, great job. So I wanted to shout him out. And then for just the Wild Bunch, we had a young shooter by the name of Dynamite Will, who finished second to me overall in the Wild Bunch.
No.
And I'll tell you what, this was his second Wild Bunch match ever. And just like the Cowboy match, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. And we had a pretty good gang of Wild Bunch shooters. So props to you, Dynamite Will, for doing a good job.
Yeah. There are people that whine on, especially on Facebook, that we talk too much about cowboy action. But understand, folks, I've been doing this for 27 years. It is the sport that I've chose to stay with over all other shooting sports.
Why is that?
Because it's a lot of fun.
Hey.
And I tell you what, I have lifelong friends now, because again, 27 years, and there's still guys out there that have been shooting as long as me that I'm still good friends with. And some of the people, I'll give you a quick example because we're filling up with phone calls. Okay. 2001, I went to Winter Range, which is now where the World Championship. Right. This was the national championship at the time. I wasn't signed up, but I just went just for the heck of it to see if I could get in. I got in. It was my best ever. I got third overall.
That is smoking.
Well, and that was 795 shooters that year.
Smoking.
And I got third overall. This is back when I was still two-handed shooting. And I shot with a group. Most of them were from Kentucky. I only knew two people on that entire group. Now, of course, in Cowboy, it's called a posse. I only knew two people in that posse.
When you started?
El Lazo and...
Sinful or...
No, Cole Younger.
Cole Younger.
Yeah, Sam. Yeah. Those were the only two guys I knew in the entire group. And these folks, I shot the match clean, which back in 2001
was a chore.
Saying something. Because these were 40-yard targets. Yeah. That were 12-inch circles.
Yeah. Didn't make it easy.
Yeah, and you got to do this for time, so you got to be pretty quick. So I got through it. I shot it clean. I got third overall. There was only, I think, 3 rank points between me, second, and first, and less than 4 seconds in overall time. And I'm not going to say anything, but first place got a miss and a procedural overturned, and second place got a miss overturned. I didn't get anything overturned. Yeah, so... but like I always say, you win a big match in cowboy action and somebody gives you $1, the next day you can buy a cup of coffee because they're probably going to get you. But that's why we talk about it, because it's so much fun, and I've got so many friends over the years that I still see every year at the major matches that, I mean, that's how I met you.
Right.
That's how we met
Kicked
Spencer.
My ass first time we were to shoot off together. Thank you. And then again another time, too.
So, go ahead.
On top of that, if you're gonna listen to this shooting sport and all that, why not hear it from a couple of world champions? All right, these guys have been doing it for so long and they've been doing it so well. Why not hear the stories of some greats? Come on, guys.
You know, I've shot skeet, I've shot trap. I'm fairly good at both of them, but it's not, it's not as much fun as cowboy has been over the years. And our sport has suffered some slings and arrows with folks passing and folks moving on and getting out of the game. And I want to bring our sport back.
There is no better face for the shooting sports. You know, we're an embattled species. There's no better face for shooting than cowboy action. It's like Disneyland.
Yep.
And the guns are real.
Well, and people say, well, it's a fantasy sport. Well, you know what? I don't know any fantasy where you're shooting real guns with real bullets at real targets.
Wait, do cowboys not exist or exist anymore?
You know, that's the only fantasy part. And I don't really look at it as fantasy. It's more fun.
And what a fantasy it is. You may recall that show, Duel in the Sun, where we put three top cowboy shooters against three top three-gun shooters. And Cowboys won. That's how much of a fantasy that is.
Well, and La Lass, if you remember Mary from many years ago, she was LAPD, and she was in charge of the Hogan's Alley LAPD shooting range, and we would go there once a year, and she would write the stages, and we would compete against cowboys only, and then she would bring some LAPD in to shoot against us. They were shooting their Berettas, we were shooting single actions and lever guns, they were shooting their ARs, and we kicked the you-know-what out of them every time.
Just a fantasy, though.
I had one guy come up and say, let me see that. Is that a full auto? It's like, that's a lever action, you understand?
It's no joke.
Manual as you can get.
I got to give one more shout out because my girl Scarlet Rain also won Lady 49er.
Oh, there you go.
She got the big trophy, and I'm very proud of her for that.
Very cool. And I don't think I think I still won my class because I think I was the only one in it. And I only shot half the match, so there you go. All right, we're coming to a commercial break. We got phone calls. We're going to get to all of you guys right after we get to this. But what's the number, Jim?
866-870-5752.
You ready for this? But love me. All right, we'll be back right after this. Whoever go, I'll be so lonely.
So, question on the YouTube from Concerned. Question, this is for Jeff, Mark, and Jimmy. What revolver did Donald Trump have on his New York permit up to 2016? I
have absolutely no clue, but I would venture a guess it's probably the same one that Howard Stern has on his, which is a Colt Python.
Concerned? Can you confirm? Concerned.
Plus, Gunslingers has huge gun auctions 7 times a year. Our next auction is on December 15th, where you can bid on incredible pistols, rifles, art, and collectibles in person.
We're negotiating with a safe company that wants to come on as a sponsor. Hopefully that thing comes in this week and I can get to shot and get out and get some. That's GunslingerAuctions.com.
Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave. You know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. When you give me all your loving and your turtle loving.
Welcome back, everybody, to Gunslingers right here on
the Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
We're on all over the damn place. What do you? They can't get rid of
everything.
Nope.
San Diego, San Francisco. Are we on Las Vegas yet? Charger game's got to be just about over.
I would think so, but I don't know.
And just to answer that question, that's Smith & Wesson 642. Or 64-2, I guess.
642. That's a good gun. I got one.
Yeah, so do I. It's a great gun. And as promised, let's get to phone calls. Let's get Sean in Covina. And thanks for waiting so long, Sean. What can we do for you, sir?
Yes. Greetings to the Gunslingers Network and community.
Thank you, sir.
I would like to start off with, if the gun bans are removed, what would be the future for our friend the Mini 14?
Well,
with its no longer being an inexpensive firearm.
Boy, howdy.
And it's gone up to like $1,200. It's no longer cheaper than an AR.
Mm-hmm.
And it's It's a reputation for poor accuracy, and we know it's got poor accuracy. Any of us who watched the A-Team in the 80s.
That was, pardon the pun, cheap shot.
And you know, if we looked at the TV show SWAT, they took their ARs and they were able to hit things.
Well, there's that. You know, that's... Go ahead.
And we also know that we used to have an older crowd who used to buy it because they mistaked it for an M1 carbine.
Mm-hmm.
But now the younger people, they don't like that type of rifle. So if the ban's removed, what do you think the future is? Is it just a gun going to be made to go ship to Canada and a few other places?
Well, I think it's going to be one of two things. Ruger's probably going to have to step it up as far as making it a little bit more
marketplace friendly. You
Yeah,
got to play the audience.
Yeah. Otherwise, I would say you're probably hitting the bull right on the nose because, you know, the Mini 14 and the Mini 30, they're a good, solid gun. They are legal in California because they don't have so-called offending members.
They're off the radar.
Yeah, because it's a semi-automatic centerfire with a detachable magazine, but no ANS, no pistol grip, thumb-hole, stock, flash height, or so on. So they're fine to shoot. But yes, they have got, like everything else, very expensive and
it's kind of a dated design. It's
a
good design, but
it is called the Mini 14 because it is a shrunk down M14 or M1A
1950s era battle rifle.
Yeah, which basically is a Garand with a magazine.
So that's a 1930s design.
Yeah, so you're shooting a fairly old style, and they're going to either have to step it up, and even Ruger is in the AR market.
Yeah.
So
they're competing with themselves.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be interesting.
Good question.
I'm not a big fan of the 14, but I do like the 30.
Yeah,
I like the 30 too
because I'm a big fan of the 7.62 by 39. I've always thought that was a better cartridge than the 5.56.
Classic design, but again, like you're saying, it's a bit dated now, and
so
just at every point.
That's going to be interesting to see if this happens, and I think it's going to. So.
It will always have its aficionados who want to put it in the back window as a truck gun, I think.
Well, yeah, I think...
maybe not at $1,250, though.
Yeah. I think you'll see lots of good deals on used ones.
I'm in.
So there
Especially
you go.
for a 30.
All right, Sean?
Oh, one more thing. Let me just throw my 3 movies.
Absolutely.
Yes,
go ahead.
please.
They're not accurate, but Where Eagles Dare with Clint Eastwood and Richard Burton.
Oh.
To Hell and Back with Audie Murphy, and Tombstone.
Hey.
Yeah, okay.
Solid choices.
Yeah, Tombstone, of course, that's one of our favorites. To Hell and Back, that's an interesting movie because this is Audie Murphy and he actually starred in it, and this was made in the early 50s, so he still looked like Audie Murphy from the Army. And if for those of you who don't know who Audie Murphy is, shame on you, first of all. Secondly, he fought an entire battalion of Germans attacking him on a burning tank by himself.
Most decorated American soldier of the Second World War.
Yeah.
And a CMOH winner.
Yeah. So, I mean, this, and all of 5'4", 95 pounds.
The definition of legendary, pretty much. Come on.
It ain't the size of the man in the fight, it's the size of the fight
in the man. You bet. I mean, this guy went over there, and he tried, the Marines wouldn't take him, Navy wouldn't take him. There was no Air Force back then. He finally got the Army to take him, and he was I think, 15 years old.
Hey.
He had a forged letter from his mom, and he went over and became the staff sergeant, and then kept moving on up from there, and sadly he ended up with PTSD before it was known, and the man slept with nightmares galore, and he was known to keep
a real thing.
45 under his pillow at all times, and he ended up with an alcohol problem and many other things, and died young, I believe, in a plane crash. Yeah, but I tell you,
real hero stuff.
No more braver human being ever. So, anyway, Sean, there's your history lesson for the night.
Always a pleasure, Sean.
Thanks for the call.
Okay.
Take care.
God bless you.
You too. All right, let's get to Roy in Santa Monica. Roy, what can we do for you?
Hey, Gunslinger, it's great to have you bring up a topic that's good for L.A., Hollywood shootouts.
Hey. You betcha, yeah.
Yeah, so there's so many of them that are, you guys might know, but most of the audience doesn't, or maybe they do, but there's so many obscure, and I think that in just a few random picks you've got to take Objective Burma with Earl Flynn. And if you haven't seen that film, a lot of Brits hate it because they think it's a misnomer historically that they say that the Brits did all the action in Burma, but there's some shootouts that were staged in there, in these night attacks that are just incredible. Yeah. And the intensity of the whole film is a constant pace where the gunfights are fabulous. Some of them are short and sweet, but they're just dynamic like Private Ryan. Mm-hmm. And that's a film that was heralded here, but like shut down by the British audiences because they said, we won Burma in World War II, which is a bunch of crap because actually historically it was the U.S. running the operation, and there's a big controversy on that. Anyway, that's a history lesson. Modern-wise, Proof of Life.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
In the end, when they go for the hostage rescue and they go hot, is probably one of the best staged. I rival it with Heat, and I think it's better than Heat because Heat had SAS advisors with a bunch of clowns that when I saw Heat in the movie theater, I came in 10 minutes into the film, and I thought, well, what happened? Were all these guys work up? Were they professional soldiers? Were they guns for hire in prison together? I never got that till I saw the movie again the second time, and I go, well, this is just genuine because the shootout was these guys running tactics that were so absolutely textbook to what pros do. It was kind of absurd to me in how they put it together. So I look at Proof of Life as a better version of that, which actually had SAS guys as advisors with former SAS guys that Russell Crowe is the hero and American SF guys as the rescue team, and that whole sequence was just eloquently staged and shot. And again, this is cinematic wise, not you're looking
Understood.
At
Yeah.
But I think the all-time absolute. And this is a dig to all you Wild Bunch guys. The optimistic Wild Bunch with the best shootout of all time and all throughout the film is the one and only absolute great Professionals with Lee Marvin.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty strong.
Woody Strode, Ralph Bellamy, and Jack Palance. And the Wild Bunch was arguably Peck and Paw's drunken anger for the how the hell did you beat me, with Richard Brooks with a punch 7 years earlier about an optimistic band of men at the end of the era. And so I look at the Wild Bunches. When I saw the Professionals as a young kid, and I saw the Wild Bunch in high school, I went, what the hell is this? I mean, this is just, it's gore. But the side, you side with a man, bullshit. The Professionals is a much more eloquent
What's the S
that
words?
shootout at the end with what's his face with Jack Palance and Burt Lancaster. The staging of that.
He got it.
Okay, go ahead.
With all cowboy action guns, by the way, except for a bolt gun. There's one bolt, A303. But anyway, fantastic stuff. There you go.
All right, very good.
And throw something your way that would wake up the sleeper snoozing at this show.
Well, they don't
never snooze. They love you guys.
Thank you kindly. You know what brought this on last night? I'm sitting at home and I'm watching Reacher, which I actually really like. The first season was awesome. Second one not very good, but I'm watching the second one, and the Neely and the other gal, they're in this itty bitty little car, and 3 guys or 4 guys come out of a truck with full auto just blasting into this thing, and they turn and they show like 20 bullets along the door, and shockingly, nobody gets hit, and it's like
through and through.
Folks.
Oh, it's insane. And that's why, as somebody who plays around in the cinematic arts and the rest of it, and shoots like in the world you guys do, it's really tough. Because when you talk about the eloquence, like the ballet of Wild Bunch, and I can go back. I guess we could spend a whole 2 hours on best shootouts
easily,
and that are obscure films that were like Proof of Life. You're watching Proof of Life, the love story's on, and suddenly it's like, go hot, and you're like, okay, it's going to be like, it's like, wow, because it's dynamically juxtaposed against the rest of the drama. Whereas Heat, which is, it's cool, man. Well, I guess if you think yourself as a hood and you wish the hell the angel of perfect shooting came down to you, and you were,
No
It'd
stormtroopers.
be a massive and a foul and take out, LAPD. I mean, come on, it was too over the top for what it was. And I really thought that if Michael Mann had any balls, he would have had all these guys as mercs, and it would have been perfect. I would have gone bravo. But you kind of you kind of look at Private Ryan as the contrast, like you did, and you're saying the most. Well, I want a flower shop. Well, it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a real shootout with real guys against real guys, and that's where the fantasy of Hollywood. We look at the people that help us not have guns around.
Yeah.
I think things like Heat do that. And I think Wild Bunch in a way did too, but we honor Wild Bunch because I don't know. The ballet and the gores, what everybody started watching.
It was a groundbreaker.
It was kind of first of its kind. David, we got to go. We're coming up on a hard break. Thanks for the call.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys.
You bet. Take care, brother. All right, you're listening to Gunslingers right here on
the Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
And we just lost a call. Call us back. I'm sorry. I think I hit the wrong button. All right, give us a call. We'll
get you in, man.
We'll be back in a minute.
We'll be back.
By accident. There we go. There we go.
Away from Thanksgiving Day.
Oh, somebody had a gun rights question. Damn it.
I think we shot there. This is Craig Hansen. I think we shot there 3 or 4 times at the LAPD.
Mm-hmm.
You got the little mini LAPD badges.
Yeah,
I did that once.
Yeah, I did it 2 or 3 times, and I've got 2 or 3 mugs to show for them. Yeah.
I do remember we won.
We kicked their ass. They were not real happy about that either. We just bunch of guys in cowboy hats and boots show up and shoot single
Their
actions.
funny guns.
Yeah, and just smoke these guys with their ARs and Beretta 92 FS.
It just got cold in here.
That's back when I was still a two-handed shooter too. So. Oh, La Lass. I wonder whatever happened to Mary. She was a funny gal.
Talking about aging out, right?
Well, she's probably my age. She might even be younger than me.
I blame Lee Marvin for my infatuation with the Winchester 1897.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a dark road you've gone down, sir.
Oh, we just took in a 97 real riot gun. It's a 20-inch, and it's marked cylinder bore. Oh, it's
those
choice.
things you're gonna get the nice price for those things.
Yeah.
Those things have gone nuts. Chinese copies, the ones they were dump those things out the door at $400, right?
Yeah.
Chinese copies are going for like $1,800 right now. Chinese.
Wow. Well, we got $5,750 for a trench, a real trench gun. So that's crazy money for one of those.
Yeah, but again, the rising tide lift all boats, I guess.
Yeah.
And they only made, I think it was just under 100 of those things, and they are a hot ticket for Wild Bunch because the extra weight when you start rocking and rolling helps keep the thing level.
I've got one that I've had for. I bought it back when you could buy them at a reasonable price,
Because that boat has sailed.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We're talking about the original.
Then sank, got resurrected, and sank again.
Lined with gold, man.
Yeah.
So the original one, because there's no way you can throw that thing down on a rocky tabletop anymore.
Yeah, no. I've shot it just once to say I've done it. Kind of like my Johnson.
Johnsons are cool.
They have an interesting feel with that retracting barrel. Yeah.
I got my first shot at one of those things when I was about 13. A buddy of mine's dad was ex-World War II giant, had all that stuff. And I remember I liked it because the Grand, for a skinny, scrawny 13-year-old, the Grand was a little bit of a handful.
Back when Fish Canyon was still open, they used to have, the shooting range, and then behind you they'd have these fairly large rifle racks that you put your stuff in. And I went there once just to be kind of a dick, and I put some unbelievable stuff. Everybody walked. Whoa! You know, I had my 03A4 in there.
Oh man!
A Johnson. I had my real McCoy Garand in there, which has a stock. It's bird's eye maple.
Yeah.
I know I go from rags to riches. If you would only say you can.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Welcome back, everybody, to Gunslingers right here on
the Gunslinger Syndicated.
Or should I say, welcome back, everybody, to Goodfellas right here on
the Goodfellas Syndicated. Oh.
All right. Hey, you know what? I hung up on him, and he got back. So let's get back right to David in Mission Hills. Dave, sorry about that.
Hey, Dave. Evening.
I'm not the best with a computer.
We're professionals, mister.
Yeah. What can we do for you?
I had a recent dispute with my wife, and she had a restraining order put out on me. So, to follow the law and everything, I turned my few guns that I have in to the local LAPD station here in the valley.
Right.
And when I was finished with the paperwork, he mentioned something about the thing ends on the 12th of May. The suspension is over, or whatever it's called, restraining order.
Right.
And I said, so I just come down here and pick up my guns, right? And he's mentioned something about the Department of Justice, the DOJ. You have to go through them. Is that true?
Yes, it is, unfortunately. Once they get a hold of your stuff, it's difficult to get back. Here's what you're going to want to do. Find a local gun shop. Have them go pick it up because they'll have all the correct stuff for DOJ. Have them go, you'll have to make an appointment with LAPD, and they'll go pick up your guns. They'll take them back to their shop, and you're going to have to do, believe it or don't, you're going to have to do registration on them and wait the 10 days. That's about the only way you're going to get those things back.
Yeah. You mean a re-registered? I guess they're registered from the beginning. I've had them since the early 90s.
Yeah.
Just a couple of handguns and a small Beretta.
Understood. And let me tell you, it is an absolute nightmare to get stuff out once it's been taken.
Yep.
This is California, and this is one of the downsides.
When did this start like that? Because years ago, I had an issue with tenants. I kind of threatened them, and the police picked up my gun, but I got it back within days.
Well, how many years ago was this?
Oh, that was
30 or 40.
The early 90s.
Yeah, see, that was a different time.
Boy.
And we have clowns in Sacramento now, and
I know
they don't want us. Yeah, they don't want you to have anything. Nope. They want you to be completely helpless because that's the way they like us.
Yep.
So can you suggest a particular gun shop?
No, what you need to do is just start calling places because anybody that's been around in the gun business for a while knows it is a pain in the rear end to get stuff out of a PD.
Once it's in the lockup.
Yeah, once it's been put into
their system.
Yeah, their system. It's a real bear to get them out. Yeah, so I tell you, I've gone to L.A. County Sheriff's Department down in Whittier is one of the property places, and I waited, I think, something like 4 hours for a guy for like 15 guns. I went to Santa Monica PD one time, and 70-year-old man and his wife had been married like 45 years. She woke up, called the cops, served him with papers, and threw a restraining order on him. The cops came, took all his stuff. There's like 60 guns. I had to be at this particular door at like 11 a.m. That door opened. They practically threw them at me, shut the door, and I'm alone. And there's a pile of firearms, and I had to walk those guns through City Hall and put them in my truck, go back. I had to make like 8 trips because there were so many. I could not believe I did not make the news.
Man.
No one comes to see the wizard.
Yeah,
know how.
Yeah, so these are the kind of problems that you're going to run into once PD gets your firearm. So I would just start calling around till you could find somebody that will do it for you, get it set up, and then keep in touch with them so that they don't put them in the destroy pile.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh no, they won't. I have
Okay.
it. I have the paperwork filled out.
Okay.
Another thing, I'm thinking maybe it won't be so bad here. This is Mission Division here in the valley. It's not. It's not on the other side of the hill in the basin.
Okay, well, good.
Maybe they were a little more conservative or whatever.
Well, let's hope so.
Maybe.
But I can tell you from many years of experience, I've had to deal with some real pain in the butt issues when trying to retrieve firearms from people. So.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
So good luck with that.
All right.
Keep us posted and let us know what happens. All right.
Please.
Okay. Yes.
Appreciate
Thank you. It's the restraining order is not up till May, so I got a long time.
You do.
To wait.
Let us know how that goes for you. Let us know how that pays out.
Call us back in May and let us know.
I will.
All right. Appreciate it, Dave. Thanks for the call. Okay, man. I tell you that once they've been taken, it can be a real bear. A lot of PDs don't want to give them back.
Don't want to give them back.
Yeah, I don't know if they get some kind of a bonus for destruction, but it can be a real touchy subject.
It's not even loopholes. It's fire barricades.
Yeah, yeah. And another thing to consider is hiring a good, solid Second Amendment attorney.
That's what I thought you were going to mention.
Yeah. Well, there's
first.
Michelle and Associates.
Michelle and Associates
in L.A. and then of course. What I'm drawing a blank on is there's another guy
you've worked with.
Well, I did with Chuck. Well, Chuck Michelle and Associates used to be Trutanich and Michelle, and Nooch Trutanich went on to become the L.A. city attorney. And when I had an issue, holy cow, that was almost 20 years ago.
Gee.
He handled my stuff, and you talk about a shark in a guppy tank. He took care of business, yeah. So he was real good. Let's get to Mark in Fullerton. Mark, what can we do for you?
Evening, Mark.
Hey, hi guys. I just wanted to talk to you about your truck. I thought, I know you want to keep it original, but I really think you should just put disc brakes all the way around on it.
Well, you know what, Mark? I am eventually going to do that, but right now, I just want to play with it a little bit. Because see, I've got cars in line for stuff. You know, I've got a 50 Woody that we bought over the summer that is waiting for a whole new drivetrain. That I've already got the drivetrain. I just got to get it done, and that's taken precedent over everything.
One trick
right
at a
now.
time.
Yeah. So as soon as, but you know, if it's going to be little bit of money to get it going and running and having some fun in it, I'm going to do that for now. But I will get a double, dual master cylinder, with the power assist, disc brakes, and probably put the Mustang 2 rear front end on it.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and
In the
do all of
meantime,
that.
there's sharks to be gathered.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I may get a tuna or something too. You never know. But in the meantime, I just want to have a little bit of fun cruising it around. Plus, 3 on a tree. Let's face it. It's a pain in the butt, but B, it's a hell of a
Anti-theft.
Yeah.
Come on.
The hell is this thing?
Yeah.
I can't get the light change, the turn signals to go on.
Especially with that. Go ahead.
Whoever tries to steal that was born in 1945.
Exactly.
Right? They're gonna have to
especially
know.
with that non-synchroed first gear,
Can't find them, grind them.
Man, a lot of grinding going on with that gear. But anyway, eventually I will do that. Go ahead.
Also, I was just going to say, you were talking about the bands earlier, and that one guy liked the Doors, and that was my worst show. I saw him at the Anaheim Convention Center in 1966.
Okay.
And Jim Morrison was so drunk he was incoherent, and he fell off the stage.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
But that's memorable.
Yeah, you definitely remember it.
I do remember it.
We used to play the Whiskey A Go-Go, believe it or not, and probably once every 3 months. And I always carried a paper bag, as I'd come on stage, and I'd take a big swig off of it and set it down. But it was water. And one time somebody said, let me get a hit off of that. So I opened it and I poured it from the stage down, and he's like, oh my God, that's vodka. It's like,
vacuum in.
Sure it is.
Yeah. Well, he's
the
playing
legend
along.
continues.
That's it. So yeah, fun days.
Yeah.
Glad they're over. What's that?
The best show I ever saw was also at Anaheim Convention Center in '66, and it was Buffalo Springfield.
Ooh.
Hey,
back with Neil Young. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
They were just awesome. They were so good.
Yeah.
It just really made me aware of what you can do if you're really talented.
Sure, you got Steve Stills, I think
Man.
Richie Fury on bass, and
oh man, they had everybody. Dewey on drums, and
I think Chris Hillerman too, right?
Just some great talent.
Yeah, that was a great band.
All-star teams before they were all-star teams.
Absolutely. All right, hey Mark, thanks for the call.
That was
Thank
fun.
you.
You bet. Take care now.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, well, I'm sure a lot of folks have door stories. 'Cause old Jim wasn't really good. Very similar to me. Not very good at behaving.
Behavior wasn't his strongest suit.
No.
That's how legends are born, though.
Well,
in both cases.
I've told this story before, but right after I graduated high school, we had the Iran thing going, and they were bringing back not the draft, but to sign up for the draft. And I thought, what the hell with it? I'm going to go sign up and become a Marine. I thought, I'm in good shape. I'll go get it done. And then somebody told me about drill instructors.
Oh,
this might not be a good fit for you,
and I
young
said,
man.
wait a minute, what?
Didn't know you had a mortal enemy until that came up.
Yeah, and I thought, okay, wait, so these guys do what now? And I thought, well, I like my teeth where they are, and I'm not really good with authority.
How close are they?
Maybe I'll just sign the thing and move on. And that was my military career.
How close to my face are they going to be yelling at me? Oh, no thanks.
Yeah. Well, again, I know me, and they'd say something, I'd say something back, and I'd wake up 3 days later.
That's not how this
Something behind the barracks would happen.
Yeah, and I wasn't real fond of that, so I just decided, I think discretion being the better part of valor, I'm just going to move on. And that's what I did. That was the end of my military career. So, well, we got about a minute. We got a phone call coming in.
Sweet. Maybe we talk
we got less than a minute because we got music already. Yeah. All right. Okay, hey, you're listening to Gunslingers right here on
the Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
And if you can believe it, we're almost done for the
Last segment coming up.
And the moon is the only.
There you go.
There she is.
Nice.
I got the caps and the beauty rings for those rims, too, by the way.
And perhaps a review on the $49 handheld tire pump. How many times did you have to charge it?
It plugs right in to your truck.
The battery?
Yeah.
Like cigarette lighter.
Yeah, into one of those deals. And then
it did get it done if you're patient, man.
Yeah, because these tires were dead flat.
You got to have a piston that big.
Yeah, about. And after I did all 4 tires, it took about 20 minutes to get all 4 up to about 25, enough to push it out. And let me tell you, when I went to pick that thing up, it
must have been
about
smoking hot.
600 degrees. It's like I felt like Kwai Chang Kang. Yeah. Go to gunslingerauctions.com. That's gunslingerauctions.com. That's gunslingerauctions.com. Ready? Well, I'm not bragging, babe, so don't put me down. But I've got the fastest set of wheels in town. When something comes up to me, you don't even try. 'Cause if they had a set of wings, man, I know she would fly. She's my little deuce coupe. You don't know what I got. And actually, my little deuce coupe has a 383 stroker, 410 horsepower. So if it had wings, it would fly.
Oh, yeah.
It's about 1,200 pounds soaking wet, let me tell you.
Wow.
That's with a full tank of gas and just been washed. So
a pile of bricks in the
and
trunk.
we still got phone calls coming in. Let's get to Edward in Riverside. Ed, what can we do for you, sir?
Greetings, gentlemen. Thank you for your program.
Oh, thank you for
I had
calling.
a question about a gun I read about years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it can't be had in California. It's made by a small manufacturer in Minnesota. It's
I know the
a
gun.
1911 style handgun made by a guy named Coonan,
Yep.
C-O-O-N-A-N, and it's called the Mott, M-O-T.
Mhm.
It's a linkless 1911, and I just wondered if you were familiar with it, if you'd ever heard of the thing.
And you didn't finish because it's in 357.
Magnum, yeah.
I've sold many Coonan at auction, and
Yes.
they get righteous bucks.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they go pretty expensive. I've shot one. I actually bought one for a minute. And I thought, they're cool. And
grip.
And then I went and shot it, and it was in the next auction.
Little muzzle blasty recoily.
This was it was. You said it was a 357. The one that I read about was a 45, and it was.
They did make that too.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a lot of experience with that one, or actually, I don't think I have any experience. But I've had several of the 357 ones come through, and
popular gun,
very popular at auction.
A lot of them out there. That's why.
And,
really?
Yeah, and
good
because
quality.
Yeah, very good gun, but because of the grip in a 357, it's so
That's a long
wide.
cartridge.
Yeah, so it's very hard to hold on to, and of course the 357 does have a bit of recoil, and you can't shoot 38s out of it.
Nope.
It's got to be 357s.
I remember getting a lot of calls on that one when they were in the auction.
Yeah, so cool gun, but
Kind of nichey.
Yeah, you definitely got to want one to have one.
You could do the same thing now with the 357 SIG.
Oh, it sounds a little bit like the Auto Mag and 30 carbine.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, fairly similar.
Long grip that's hard to hold on to.
Well, the biggest difference in the two is the Kunin works. that damn AMT Auto Mag in 30 carbine, I have never been able to get one full mag out of one of those. Yeah, they are a bear.
There's enough pressure.
Yeah.
It should just...
Yeah, the 44 AMP, not so much. Those things work pretty well, but the 30 carbines, man, they are a bear. A good friend of mine, Big Phil, he bought a pair of those consecutive numbered, and this is back when Harry was still alive, Harry Sanford, the owner of AMT, and we must have took those guns back 10 times, and every time, okay, they're ready to go, we take them back. Okay, they're not going.
Good idea.
Yeah, Phil was 6'5", pushing 3 bills.
Oh, yeah.
Not a guy you want to piss off, especially when he's got your gun in his hand. Anyway, Ed, we got to get going. We're almost out of time for the night.
All right.
Thanks for the call.
Bless.
Thank you, sir. You too. Take care. Okay, let's get to our good friend, Brent in L.A. How are you, Brent?
Hey, Brent.
Shalom, Brent.
Shalom, you Olympic cowboy shooting MAGA gunslingers.
Yeah, baby.
Thank you kindly. What's going on?
Well, the more you talk about the classic cowboy gunslinging competitions, the more excited I am to watch you guys get it together for LA's 2028 Olympic cowboy shooting competition.
Wouldn't that be something?
Whoa.
You know, we need to move on that, and I guarantee it would be the #1 watched event in the Olympics, and just applying will get you billions of dollars worth of free media coverage.
No,
you got a point. Brent, let me tell you, they have at certain ranges, like at Rahagi's and at Route 66, they have these come shoots kind of days.
Open house days.
Yeah, where Smith & Wesson will show up, and you can shoot different Smiths and different, and the cowboy booth always has the biggest line.
Man, this is definitely not a bad idea, because this is huge. I mean, they have their different sports shots in the Olympics and all that, but something in this specific of a genre and how big it could get, this is amazing. That is a great insight.
Well, because it's interesting, as you're talking, I never realized the degree of professionalism and how organized it is. I mean, it's a world not even known to most gun owners.
Very true.
And it is a world. I've shot in half a dozen countries doing cowboy shooting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think it would be ideal. And if we could set it up and promote it through the CRPA and Ted Nugent and Kid Rock and the Hulkster and Dana White and Sly Stallone and Clint Eastwood and Tom Selleck and the Great Gorka and, of course, President Trump, I think we could really get this thing going. It seems so exciting to me.
Couldn't you see Trump in a cowboy hat and boots?
And a pair of boots? Absolutely.
I tell you what,
how much?
And believe it or not, a lot of the folks that you mentioned, like Tom Selleck and Ted Nugent, already know about cowboy action shooting, because Tom Selleck has actually been to matches before. So
how American can you get? Come on, baby.
I mean, what is more American than the cowboy?
Right?
Straight up.
And
unique
you know,
archetype.
I mean, the game started because of folks that were of the age of watching cowboys on TV and the movies, and you know, those folks are getting up there, and you know, we need an insurgent of young blood, as we were talking about earlier, and nothing. Okay, Tombstone, the Dead Red Redemption?
Dead Redemption.
Okay,
Red Dead Redemption.
that came out, and they did a big thing at Tombstone, and SAS, Single Action Shooting Society, went and had a booth, and they were the busiest booth.
Huge.
Yeah.
They said there was not a hotel room 30 miles in any direction.
Yeah, and this was all over a video game. But
about Western shit.
Yeah, and so, I mean, there's still a lot of potential there. It just needs to be, played with a little bit.
And the very idea that they can think of putting breakdancing, and we're shy about this.
Lord have mercy.
I couldn't agree more.
It's an undying era, and we
Brent,
should resurrect it, right?
Sounds like a job opportunity for you. How's that?
Listen, this is a guy who'd make it happen.
I tell you. All right. Hey, you know what? Next time you talk to Gorka, I have to bring that up. Don't forget. Don't forget to mention us too.
Yes. Hey, maybe we can have a tie-in there. I'll have him talk about cowboy gunslinging with you.
There you go. I appreciate it.
Wow. And we'll host him anytime he wants to play.
Brent, we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. See ya.
Take care.
Brent.
You know what? All this talk about cowboy. I'm not even a regulator.
Holy smokes. Well, maybe if you've been at it a little longer.
I got to be 35 years? 1997. 1997 I started shooting, yeah. That's a ways.
Fun stuff.
Hard to believe.
Man, what a night.
Fast. Like this show, it went by awful fast.
Boy, oh boy. 5.5 years.
Well,
So,
the phone calls always make the show.
They do. And thanks for everyone for joining in on your favorite movie shootouts. We really appreciate it.
And don't forget to hit like and share.
Yeah, subscribe to any of the channels, and make sure you're sharing.
The hell with that. Subscribe to all.
Exactly. You're watching us on one platform. You can jump on another one and
I'm
subscribe.
doing all three of them.
Make sure you don't miss us, right?
Yeah.
3 out of 4.
You don't want to miss us.
One particular tends to go down an awful lot. Not that they're shadow banning us or anything.
Yeah.
But they're shadow banning
Do we have
us.
time for 3 favorite shootouts?
Let's do it.
Go ahead.
I'm still a big Matrix, just a huge movie in number 1.
Guns, lots of guns.
Lots and lots of guns. Desperado. I've always loved every shootout scene there. And then it's a toss-up between the John Wick or the Django.
Django, really? That's interesting.
That's just got so many diverse, different shootouts and all there, just different ways I think they're both entertaining in their own separate ways. So there's 3 or 4. There you go.
I'd go with John Wick.
Yeah, I know.
Not a big Django fan, but go ahead.
Boondock Saints.
Lord.
The shootout with Billy Connolly. There was a firefight. I love that thing when he pulls off his coat and he's just festooned
like an
guns.
octopus.
I love that
festooned.
one. The collateral scene in the alley where Tom Cruise does the Mozambique. He's held up.
Oh yeah.
And he goes from hands empty to dropping 2 bad guys. In Mozambique,
Easy,
so that's
easy.
Okay.
That's real good stuff. And the other one, Band of Brothers, when they attack Breakhor Manor on D-Day, which is they got it so right. This thing is still apparently caught at West Point on how to assault a fortified position.
We had a shout out.
Great stuff. And I want to do the car thing too, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Best car and the worst car I ever owned were the same car.
Oh, okay.
I had an Alfa Romeo GTV6. Now, Jeremy Clarkson says the most beautiful sound of the world, Neil Brook, no opposition on this, is the sound of a GTV6 going through the gears, that beautiful 6-cylinder engine. And he also says it is the best car in the world, briefly. And I had some wonderful days in that thing, but by the time it was at the end of its life, I had an ashtray full of quarters that I would use for calling friends to come and get me when the dang thing broke down again.
Best and worst car for me. The latest car I'm driving is probably the best car because I've owned enough cars that were garbage. So one that rolls has working windows and an AC.
Working windows? That's crazy talk, sir.
Yes. So I've never owned a new car, only previously destroyed.
By the way, the story I was telling about the 64 Caddy, when I T-boned a guy, I made a left turn in front of a guy on a motorcycle. It was a 25-mile-an-hour zone. He was going, they said 65, because his skid mark was like 25 feet before he hit me. Then when he hit me, he flew like 28 feet over me. His helmet on impact went like 104 feet, and his right shoe went 30 feet to the right. All he got was a cut on the forehead.
I hope he went home and bought lottery tickets.
He should have, because I tried to follow up on him after I finally got cleared out and everything. I called the hospital. Oh, he's already gone.
He's already gone.
Yeah, he was in the hospital. A total
First of all, that
about
was very
50
cool
minutes.
of you.
Yeah,
he walked.
Well, get this to show you what a Cadillac was made of in 1964. He hit that thing going 65 miles an hour. The window was down. He didn't even crack the glass.
You got to be kidding me.
I'm not kidding at all. The tires of that motorcycle were touching.
Ooh. And it didn't even break the glass.
And it didn't even break the glass. Because I ended up, it took me a while, but I finally found another 64 convertible door, and it didn't have glass. So I took the glass out of this one and the rest of the guess and put it in. Yeah. It took me a while to get that going. And then I painted it painstakingly fought Cadillac to get the original 1964 color. Painted it that color, took it to Pomona. Nobody even looked at it. Said, to hell with this. Took it back, painted it the reddest red you can imagine.
Sell it red. They
call it. Man, and put white with red trim. That thing sold in about 6 seconds.
Boom,
yeah, Japanese movie studio. Man, there it is, guys. We're done.
Ready, folks.
Yeah, smokes. All right, guys. Thanks again. We appreciate you listening. Tell all your friends. Don't forget to like, share, but mostly don't forget to smile. It's just little curves. That's everything straight. Thank you, Leon.
God bless you guys.
We'll
Have a good night.
We'll see you guys next week.
Let the Coyotes take me away.